endorsing a new board, but not announcing who they are just yet. Instead, promising to name them later this month. Henyard is under investigation by the FBI.
Now she's teasing a big announcement that she claims will result in some of her opponents being arrested and charged.
If you're in Dalton, Illinois, and considering attending Mayor Tiffany Henyard's re-election party, be prepared to dig deep into your pockets. Entry comes with a steep $50 price tag. The high cost has raised eyebrows, sparking debates about the motives behind such an expensive fundraiser. While some argue it's a necessary campaign strategy, others see it as a desperate attempt to fill financial gaps, especially given the controversies surrounding Henyard's administration. Throughout her tenure, Henyard has faced accusations of mismanagement, voter suppression, and questionable appointments, leaving Dalton deeply divided. In this tense political climate, the hefty entry fee only intensifies concerns about campaign finance ethics, leadership priorities, and financial transparency. Critics suggest the high cost signals desperation, especially amid ongoing allegations of financial misconduct and misallocation of taxpayer funds. Many residents fear the event is more about covering up financial missteps than genuinely engaging with the community. Supporters, however, defend the fee, arguing that it demonstrates Henyard's ability to rally financial and public backing despite the controversies. They see it as a testament to her resilience and political savvy. But the decision to impose such a steep cost raises questions about inclusivity and accessibility, particularly in a town grappling with economic struggles, crime concerns, and leadership instability. Charging residents $50 to attend an event for a mayor mired in controversy risks alienating many, reinforcing perceptions of elitism and political opportunism. Henyard has carefully cultivated an image of resilience, often portraying herself as the target of political attacks. The re-election party, with its high entrance fee, fits neatly into this narrative, a bold display of defiance and a gamble on the loyalty of her supporters. Whether this strategy will strengthen her base or further divide the community remains uncertain, but the growing gap between her supporters and detractors is undeniable. What could have been a simple campaign event has instead become a symbol of the political tensions in Dalton, where access to leadership now seems tied to financial means. Critics argue that such high-priced gatherings deepen divisions, turning what should be an inclusive democratic process into an exclusive spectacle. With ongoing allegations of backroom deals, poor leadership choices, and an increasingly polarizing governing style, Henyard's re-election campaign appears more focused on consolidating power than earning back public trust. Her emphasis on high-profile, expensive events suggests that her political survival hinges less on addressing community concerns and more on securing a financially loyal base. In a town struggling with governance issues and declining trust in leadership, Henyard's fundraiser raises important questions about how modern politics function in smaller municipalities, where resources are stretched thin and the stakes remain high. The controversy surrounding this event underscores the critical role that fundraising plays not just in shaping individual campaigns but in influencing the broader political landscape itself.
Until 2025, yet Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to stay as mayor despite the cloud of controversy.
Since Tiffany Henyard assumed
mayor
office
of Dalton
as mayor
in
of Dalton
2021, Tiffany Henyard's leadership has been anything but conventional, unfolding like a high-stakes political drama filled with controversy, accusations, and power struggles that could rival any primetime TV show.
Henyard's tenure has been
marred by persistent criticism, including allegations of financial mismanagement,
and allegations of using the local police force to
and claims that she has used the local police force to intimidate political opponents. Both rivals and former allies have accused Henyard of misusing public funds, engaging in wasteful spending, and diverting town revenues for private interests, worsening Dalton's already dire financial situation. These allegations have fueled growing frustration among residents who believe her actions have accelerated the town's decline rather than addressing addressing its
leadership
challenges.
is increasingly viewed as self-serving,
Increasingly,
with questions about
her
whether
leadership
she
is
is
perceived
genuinely
as
working
selfing,
for the betterment
with
of
many
Dalton
questioning
or
whether
using
she
her
is
position
genuinely
for
working
personal
for
gain.
Dalton's betterment
Allegations
or
of
using her
directing
position
public
for
resources
personal
toward
gain.
personal ventures or
Concerns
engaging
over
in questionable
transparency
financial
and
dealings
accountability have
only
only
intensified
intensified,
local
with
discontent.
town officials and residents
town
alike
officials
raising
alike
doubts
are
about the
questioning her commitment to
administration's ability to
transparency,
effectively
with many
govern.
believing
This
her
discontent
administration
has
has
even
worsened
spread
the
to
town's
former
problems
supporters,
instead of addressing
some of
them.
whom now accuse
This
Henyard of
dissatisfaction has
prioritizing
sparked open
personal
concerns,
ambition over
even
public
from some of
service.
Henyard's former allies,
Despite
who
mounting
accuse
criticism,
her of prioritizing
she
personal
remains
ambition
defiant,
over public
pressing
service.
forward with her
Despite
re-election
these mounting
campaign, a move that some
Henyard
interpret as an
remains
act of
resolute,
confidence
pushing
while others
forward with
see
her
it as a
plans
tone-deaf
for a re-election
response to
campaign
community
that some
concerns.
interpret as an act of
Recently,
defiance,
Henyard
while
announced
others
her
view it as an
re-election party,
audacious move in the
an
face
event
of
that
growing
many believe is
opposition.
designed to
Recently,
showcase her
she announced
political
the launch of a
resilience.
re-election party, which
However,
many see as a
for
bid
many
to showcase
Dalton
her
residents,
confidence and her
the celebration
determination
feels
to overcome the
disconnected from the
challenges
town's
surrounding her
pressing
time in
issues.
office. Yet, for
Public
many Dalton
frustration
residents,
continues
this
to
move
grow as
feels
residents feel
tone-deaf,
neglected by an
disconnected from the real
administration that
issues
appears
facing
more
the
focused
community.
on political
Public
spectacle than
frustration
on
has
real
only deepened as
solutions.
residents feel
Under
neglected by an
Henyard's
administration
leadership,
that seems
Dalton
more
has
focused on
experienced
political
significant
theatrics than
unrest,
addressing the
and her
town's
tenure
pressing
has become a
concerns.
defining
Under
period that
Henyard's
many view
leadership,
as having
Dalton
deepened
has
the
been
town's
plagued by
struggles.
unrest, with many
Her
viewing her
leadership
time in
style
office
has
as a
made her
turning
a
point that has
polarizing
worsened
figure,
the town's struggles.
attracting both passionate
Allegations of
supporters and vocal
mismanagement and
critics.
divisive leadership
While
have
her
turned her
defenders
into a
applaud her
polarizing
resilience
figure,
and ability to
attracting both
navigate
fervent
political
defenders
turmoil,
and vocal
her
critics.
detractors
While
argue
her
that her
supporters
boldness
applaud her
stems from a
resilience and
dismissive
ability to
attitude
navigate
toward
political
legitimate
turmoil,
public
her
concerns.
detractors argue that her
This
boldness
ongoing
is
contention
less
has
about
created
courage
a
and more
political
about a
crossroads
dismissive
for
attitude
Dalton,
toward the legitimate
forcing
concerns
residents
of the
to
public.
confront the
Her
town's
actions
future
have created a
direction and the
political climate of
accountability of its
contention,
leadership.
leaving
Henyard's
Dalton at a
decision to
crossroads
push
regarding
forward
its
with her
future
re-election
direction
bid
and the
only
accountability
amplifies
of its
these
leadership.
tensions.
Henyard's decision
Critics
to
see it as a
continue with her
sign of an
re-election
administration
campaign
unwilling
only
to
highlights
acknowledge
these
its
tensions,
failures,
with critics
while
viewing it
supporters
as a
view it
symptom
as
of an
proof of her
administration
determination
unwilling
to
to
lead
confront
despite
its
adversity.
shortcomings
With
and
the
fix
stakes
the
so
issues
high,
facing
the
town.
outcome of the
While
election
supporters
could
see it
shape
as proof of
Dalton's
her
trajectory for
determination
years to come.
continue
To
leading
her
despite
supporters,
adversity.
Henyard's
The stakes surrounding
re-election
her
represents a
re-election are
chance
high,
for
as
stability
the
and a
outcome could
reaffirmation
determine
of the
Dalton's
bold
future
vision
for
she
years
claims
to
to
come.
champion.
For her supporters,
To her
push for
detractors,
re-election
the election
represents
is
an
a critical
opportunity for
moment to hold
stability
her accountable
and a
for what they
reaffirmation
see
of the
as
bold
failed
vision
leadership
she
or
claims
risk
to
further
embody.
dysfunction.
On the other hand,
As these
detractors
opposing
view the
perspectives
re-election bid as a
clash,
critical
Dalton
moment to
remains
either hold her
uncertain about
accountable
its
for what they
future,
see as
with
failed
residents
leadership
torn
or
between
risk
concerns
deepening
over
the
her
town's
leadership and the
dysfunction.
hope that a
As
change in
these
direction
competing
could bring
perspectives
renewal.
clash,
Whether
Dalton
Henyard's
remains
confidence
uncertain
and
about its
defiance in the
future,
face of
with residents
criticism will
torn between
resonate
their
with voters
concerns
or
about her
deepen
leadership and the
dissatisfaction
hope that a
remains to be
change in
seen.
direction might bring renewal.
What is certain,
Whether Henyard's
however,
confidence and
is that her
defiance
time
in
in
the face
office
of
has
mounting
cast a
criticism
national
will
spotlight
resonate
on
with voters or
Dalton's
deepen
struggles,
dissatisfaction
making this
remains
election a
unclear.
pivotal
But
moment
what
in the
is certain
town's
is that
history.
the controversy
Her
surrounding her
political
time in
career
office
now
has
stands
cast
at
a
a crucial
spotlight on the
juncture,
town's challenges,
forcing Dalton
making
to
her
grapple with
re-election
larger
campaign a
questions
pivotal
of
moment for
leadership,
Dalton.
accountability,
Henyard's
and
political
governance.
career
The
now
outcome of
stands at
this
a
election
crucial
will not
juncture,
only
forcing
determine
Dalton to
Henyard's
confront
future but
deeper
will also
questions about
test
leadership,
Dalton's ability to
accountability, and
reconcile its
governance.
divisions and
The
navigate
outcome
the
of her re-election
complexities of
bid will
small
not
town
only determine
politics
her
amid
political
controversy.
future, but will also
As
serve
the
as a
community
test of how the
stands at
town
this critical
reconciles its
crossroads,
divisions and
trust,
addresses the complexities
transparency,
of small
and unity
town
remain at
politics in
stake.
the wake of controversy.
First time in many weeks, Dalton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting together, but not at Village.
Since taking office as mayor of Dalton in 2021, Tiffany Henyard's leadership has been engulfed in controversy, turning her tenure into a high-stakes political saga that rivals any prime-time drama. The small town, located just south of Chicago and home to roughly 20,000 residents, has been shaken by allegations of financial mismanagement, corruption, abuse of power, and even claims that Henyard used the local police force to intimidate political opponents. These accusations leveled by both former allies and political rivals paint a troubling picture of an administration plagued by misuse of public funds, extravagant spending, and a pattern of directing town resources for personal benefit. Dalton, already struggling with severe financial difficulties, has only seen its troubles deepen under Henyard's leadership, raising serious concerns about whether she is truly prioritizing the needs of her constituents or leveraging her position for personal gain. Frustration among residents has continued to mount, particularly in light of claims that she has engaged in questionable financial dealings and potentially diverted public funds for personal endeavors. These revelations have cast doubt on whether she is working to improve Dalton or exploiting her office for self-interest. Critics argue that her administration lacks transparency and has exacerbated the town's problems rather than solving them. Even some of Henyard's former supporters have distanced themselves, fearing that personal ambition has taken precedence over public service. As dissatisfaction grows, questions about her ability to lead have intensified, further complicating her efforts to secure re-election. Despite mounting opposition, Henyard remains undeterred, pushing forward with her re-election campaign, a move that some interpret as bold defiance and others as a dismissive response to public criticism. Recently, she announced a re-election launch party, a gesture seen by many as an attempt to project confidence and demonstrate that she remains unfazed by the challenges surrounding her leadership. However, to many Dalton residents, this move feels out of touch with the pressing concerns of the community, fueling further frustration among those who believe the administration is more focused on political spectacle than substantive governance. Under Henyard's tenure, Dalton has experienced significant unrest, with many viewing her leadership as a period of increased instability rather than progress. Her time in office has made her a deeply polarizing figure, drawing both staunch defenders and vocal detractors. While her supporters commend her resilience and ability to navigate political turmoil, critics argue that her defiance is less about strength and more about ignoring legitimate concerns raised by both the public and her peers. As the political climate in Dalton grows increasingly contentious, the town is faced with difficult questions about its future governance and the responsibility of its leadership. Henyard's decision to press forward with her re-election bid only deepens the divisions, with critics seeing it as a refusal to acknowledge failures, while supporters view it as a testament to her unwavering determination to lead. The stakes surrounding her re-election are significant, as the outcome could shape Dalton's future for years to come. To her supporters, her bid represents stability and a reaffirmation of the bold vision she claims to champion. To her critics, the campaign is a pivotal moment, an opportunity to hold her accountable for what they see as failed leadership or risk further entrenching the town in dysfunction and division. As these competing narratives collide, Dalton residents must weigh the impact of Henyard's leadership and the direction in which the town is headed. Whether her confidence in the face of mounting criticism will resonate with voters or deepen dissatisfaction remains to be seen. One thing, however, is certain: the controversy surrounding her time in office has cast a harsh spotlight on Dalton's many challenges, making this re-election campaign a defining moment for the community. Henyard's political career now stands at a crossroads, and Dalton must confront pressing questions about leadership, accountability, and governance. The results of this election will not only determine her future as mayor but also serve as a reflection of how the town chooses to navigate its divisions and address the complexities of small-town politics after years of turmoil.
Board meeting got canceled because of a lack of quorum.
That came after a disagreement about where to hold the meeting, as trustees expressed concern.
Despite ongoing controversies and a federal investigation, Tiffany Henyard remains steadfast in her bid for re-election as mayor of Dalton, a move that has left many residents stunned. In a striking maneuver, she recently proposed a wage ordinance that would slash the salary of her successor if she loses the upcoming election, a move widely perceived as an attempt to safeguard her own financial interests and maintain control over the town's finances. While Henyard pushes forward with her campaign, her actions have only intensified concerns about her leadership and ethics. Earlier this year, federal authorities issued subpoenas in connection with an investigation into alleged financial misconduct, including claims that Henyard misused taxpayer funds for personal expenses. Reports suggest the probe encompasses financial records and business transactions from both Dalton and neighboring Thornton Township, where she also serves as supervisor. If the allegations prove true, they could involve thousands of dollars spent on luxury hotels, fine dining, and personal purchases including Amazon orders, raising serious questions about her fiscal responsibility. Despite the gravity of these accusations, Henyard has largely avoided directly addressing them. In a recent Facebook Live broadcast, instead of presenting evidence to clear her name, she delivered an almost 90-minute tirade blaming her political opponents for the town's troubles, promising to reveal more details at a later time. Her evasive response only deepened public skepticism, leaving many residents and trustees disillusioned. Calls for accountability have grown louder, with opponents like Jason House, who is running for mayor under the Clean House slate, demanding greater transparency from Henyard's administration. At public meetings, frustrated residents have openly voiced their concerns, with some even asking, "This is an embarrassment to Dalton. Why won't you step down?" Henyard, however, has shown no inclination to retreat. Instead, she has employed increasingly aggressive political tactics to maintain her grip on power, including threats to have her opponents arrested. During one of her infamous Facebook Live appearances, she boldly claimed she would file charges against several individuals, though she did not specify the alleged offenses. Her decision to escalate tensions amid her growing legal and financial troubles has only added to the public's unease. Compounding her difficulties, Henyard is also facing an eviction lawsuit for failing to pay rent on her home, with payments overdue by several months. Her landlord, Janetta Hull, recently went public with the issue, revealing that Henyard and her partner, Kamal Woods, had not paid rent since August and had even changed the locks to prevent Hull from accessing the property. Once a friend of Henyard, Hull now regrets renting to her and has filed for eviction, though serving the papers has proven difficult as Henyard appears to be avoiding them. The combination of a federal investigation and an eviction lawsuit paints a troubling picture for a leader seeking to remain in office. Reports suggest Henyard has used town funds to sustain her personal lifestyle, making questionable expenditures that have only further eroded public trust. As legal and financial pressures mount, her continued efforts to retain control of Dalton seem to be alienating her from the very community she is supposed to serve. As the re-election campaign intensifies, Dalton's political landscape grows increasingly unstable. Henyard's supporters argue that she is resilient and committed to the town, while critics see a leader embroiled in scandal, clinging to power at any cost even if it means resorting to divisive and extreme tactics. With escalating drama, deepening financial and legal woes, and an electorate growing weary of controversy, Dalton residents are left questioning the integrity of their leadership and whether Henyard's pursuit of re-election is truly about serving the town or securing her own interests.
Landlord showed up here to see her tenant in person after she says Henyard has been dodging both her and rent payment.
Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor of Dalton has been marred by allegations of financial mismanagement, unethical leadership, and the misuse of public resources, turning her re-election campaign into a lightning rod for controversy. Public scrutiny.
At the center of the criticism are claims that Henyard engaged in extravagant spending, including an astonishing $443,000 Amazon shopping spree on the village's credit card.
Along with
Additionally, she is accused of spending thousands of taxpayer dollars on luxury dining, entertainment, and travel, all while Dalton struggles with severe financial hardships. These allegations have fueled widespread frustration, with many residents questioning her priorities and pointing out the stark contrast between their own economic struggles and her apparent disregard for fiscal responsibility. The controversy doesn't stop at questionable spending. Henyard has also been accused of misusing Dalton police officers as a personal security detail, particularly following a 2021 protest after a shooting. Former Dalton Police Chief Robert Collins, whom Henyard fired, claims she racked up over $1 million in police overtime pay, allegedly using officers as bodyguards and assigning them personal errands, such as picking up her daughter from school and accompanying her on shopping trips. These These accusations paint a troubling picture of public resources being exploited for personal benefit, further intensifying concerns about her leadership. Critics argue that these alleged abuses reflect a broader pattern of power misuse and a lack of ethical governance, eroding public trust in her administration. Collins also accused Henyard of directing him to target specific individuals for harassment, raising even more concerns about intimidation tactics and the potential misuse of law enforcement for personal vendettas. These claims have made Henyard a deeply polarizing figure, with many questioning whether she is truly serving Dalton's interests or simply consolidating power for her own gain. The timing of her re-election campaign has only heightened skepticism about her leadership. Some see it as a desperate bid to retain power amid mounting opposition and legal challenges, while others interpret it as a defiant attempt to prove her resilience. Adding to the controversy is the 50 admission fee for her re-election party, a move that has sparked criticism from residents who argue that such a fundraiser is tone-deaf given the town's financial distress. To her critics, Henyard's campaign appears to be a blatant effort to shift focus away from her mounting scandals. To her supporters, however, it is a symbol of her determination to push forward despite adversity. Her unapologetic approach suggests deep confidence in her ability to weather the storm, but that confidence is being increasingly tested by a community that remains divided. For many Dalton residents, the upcoming election is more than just a vote, it's a referendum on leadership, accountability, and the future of their town. Henyard's alleged misuse of village funds and public resources has become central to the debate, raising broader questions about transparency and ethical decision-making in local government. Critics argue that her actions, particularly the reported lavish spending and the use of police officers for personal purposes, have inflicted lasting damage on Dalton's financial stability and reputation. Many are left wondering whether Henyard genuinely believes she is the best person to lead the town, or if her re-election bid is simply a calculated attempt to shield herself from potential legal or political fallout. Meanwhile, Henyard's supporters continue to defend her as a strong, decisive leader, dismissing the allegations as politically motivated attacks. They contend that the scrutiny surrounding her administration is part of a broader effort to discredit her. However, the optics of the situation, especially the $1 million in police overtime expenses and accusations of political targeting, have only intensified calls for accountability and reform. As Henyard pushes forward with her re-election bid, Dalton finds itself at a crossroads. It remains uncertain whether the community will rally behind her or demand new leadership. The outcome of the election will not only determine her political future but will also serve as a crucial moment for Dalton, testing whether the town can move beyond the growing ethical and financial crises that have defined her tenure.
Politics embattled Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is mounting a re-election bid. Henyard made the announcement in a post on her Facebook.
Critics have increasingly highlighted the stark disconnect between Tiffany Henyard's campaign portrayal of progress and the harsh reality of Dalton's ongoing financial instability and widespread public dissatisfaction. Many suggest that her re-election bid is more about maintaining power than addressing the town's pressing issues. One of the most controversial aspects of her campaign is the 50 admission fee for a re-election party, which has sparked outrage among residents. Many see it as an audacious fundraising tactic that disregards the financial struggles of everyday citizens. Combined with ongoing allegations of lavish personal spending, the fee only reinforces the perception that Henyard is out of touch with the hardships her constituents face. To her detractors, this campaign event is symbolic of a broader lack of empathy and accountability, a failure to address the financial mismanagement that has plagued the town, and an unwillingness to restore public trust in local government. As Henyard presses forward with her bid for another term, the growing divide between her administration and the community she serves becomes more evident, leaving residents with a difficult choice: continue supporting a mayor whose leadership has been marked by controversy, or seek new leadership in the hopes of restoring fiscal stability and integrity. Despite mounting opposition and allegations of financial misconduct, Henyard remains unshaken in her confidence, portraying herself as a steadfast leader capable of overcoming adversity. However, many residents view her determination with skepticism, questioning whether her personal ambitions have taken precedence over Dalton's urgent need for reform and accountability. The narrative surrounding her re-election campaign underscores this tension between her image of resilience and the widespread perception that her administration refuses to address critical issues like fiscal responsibility, ethical governance, and transparency. As a result, her re-election bid has become a defining moment for both her political career and Dalton's future, forcing the town to grapple with serious questions about leadership, governance, and public trust. With the campaign continuing to unfold, the stakes have never been higher. Dalton residents are left wondering whether the town can recover from its current challenges or if Henyard's alleged misuse of power and resources will further erode faith in its leadership. The controversy surrounding her tenure and the growing calls for accountability have made this election a pivotal moment in Dalton's political history. While her supporters view her as a resilient leader who can withstand political adversity, her critics remain firm in their calls for change, demanding a fresh direction that prioritizes transparency, ethical leadership, and fiscal responsibility. The unfolding drama ensures that the debate over Henyard's leadership and its lasting impact on Dalton will not be resolved anytime soon. As Dalton stands at a crossroads, the choices made in the coming months will shape the town's political landscape for years to come. Residents must now decide whether Henyard's continued leadership is in their best interest or if it's time for a new path, one that seeks to rebuild trust, restore financial stability, and ensure a more accountable government for the future.